Hello. Wow.
Hello.
I am so happy to see all of you. I'm so glad we have this time together. So thank you. Does it seem possible that just 8 months ago we were in Garmisch, hugging each other, saying hello in all of those incredible mountains in the background? We were happy and excited about the new school year. We were so excited to see each other as we celebrated the 50th anniversary of man's first footstep on the moon. In fact, we were over the moon with excitement. Who remembers that? How excited we were? We kicked off the summit with the words of President John F. Kennedy's address to our nation 7 years before the Eagle landed. And I want to read to you what he said because I know you'll remember. He said, "We choose to go to the moon, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. Because that challenge is one we are willing to accept." Think about that for a moment. President Kennedy said, "We choose to do these things, not because they're easy, but because they're hard." We left our summit just infused with so much enthusiasm and energy, and we were so committed. We had such a sense of urgency that day. We left with a clear vision for 2020. We were focused on using the data, on our school action planning process. We were all excited about getting more students in our AP classes. We were very, very intended. We were very, very well intended. And we were very, very innocent. Just 7 months later, we heard of a town in China and something called the coronavirus. Then on February the 23rd, I got this call from Dave Rudy and from Paul Salato late on a Sunday afternoon, telling me that the command down in Vicenza was calling to close the schools in Vicenza and in Aviano. Then it was Bahrain and Livorno, Naples, Sigonella. One by one, all the schools down in the south closed. Then it was Germany, the Benelux, the Netherlands, Alconbury, and then finally Lakenheath, Feltwell, and Liberty. 100% of the schools in Europe. And people started saying they were closed. Have you ever heard of such a thing? Those people actually said their schools are closed. And somebody must have said it can't be done because we showed them. It took 3 days to get digital learning for our students in place. So when somebody said to me, who in the world could get digital learning in place in 3 days? I said, DODEA teachers and principals and superintendents and community soups and chiefs of staff and our incredible support staff in Europe. That's who can do it. So it can be done. And suddenly some classrooms that were very traditional, when we came back in August, remember that? We had these plans to change our classrooms and they were very traditional then. Suddenly they didn't look so traditional anymore. We are at war. We're facing unprecedented challenges across Europe, and you and your teachers are right on the front line. We're in this together, and we can do anything. With the incredible leadership we have in Europe, and remember I told you that was a promise I made Mr. Brady, that across Europe, we would have the best leadership. And with the extraordinarily smart, talented, and committed support staff that we have been able to assimilate There's absolutely nothing we can't do. I believe that with all my heart. The feedback we've gotten from principals, from students, teachers, parents, and the military has been nothing short of overwhelmingly positive. I want to share some good, and I know there are dozens of these, but just a few I want to share today. The vice president of the National Junior Honor Society wrote her principal, and these are her words. Is there anything I can do to make this easier for other members of NJHS or the school? I'm sorry to bother you. All the teachers are doing a fantastic job, but maybe we can help. Is there any way we can earn hours digitally? A mother writes the superintendent when he sends out communication about the school breakfast and lunch. She writes back and she says, "You are angels." Parent after parent speaks to the fact that the schools are closed in the States, but our teachers and principals are working so hard and they appreciate our carrying on. A teacher says, "My principal checks on me every day. They care about my health and safety." A commander says, "This is a wicked fight, and Dodia is right in the fight with us." And a principal told me just today, "I am still needed, maybe more than ever. I am hands-on with parents and teachers, helping them navigate the learning. And more important than that, I am listening to kids who say, 'I can't stay motivated. I am locked up. I can't stand being isolated another moment.' You are very, very important. And this is my direction to you. Be kind to yourself. You don't have to be perfect. Before you add more to the plates of parents, teachers, and students, check on their reality. Ask them, is this working for them? Listen and then act on what they say. That's what's important. Err on the side of humanity and do the same for yourself. Focus on the essential learnings that will bring gains. Quality over quantity. Superintendents are working very closely with ISSs to identify and prioritize the essential learnings. It will be your job, and this is hard, to ensure that your teachers listen to parents and students and focus. Slow down. Focus on those essential learnings. Students nor teachers need a new task every day. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for perseverance, for compassion, and for humility. I have one goal, and that's for our students and all of you to come out of this remarkably unscathed, so that all of us will be able to go forward and lead happy, healthy, productive lives. As the coronavirus continues to spread across Europe, we have been forced to make unprecedented changes and quick decisions with little warning. This situation continues to unfold. We do not know what the future holds or when things will return to the normal we once knew. Please don't say this is the new normal. It's not. There's nothing about this situation that's normal. We've been forced to rethink what we're doing and make the most of it so that when we return to our buildings, we'll take the best of what we've done and the best of us along. We have not lost what we had in Garmisch. We've been given the opportunity to practice our mission, excellence in education for every student, everywhere, every day. We will come out of this stronger than we ever were before. The flowers are blooming, the birds are singing, and spring is on the way. You are the same principal team that I said in front of Mr. Brady I was so proud of. You're the same people. I'm so proud of you. You're open-minded, you listen to others, you know how to be still and listen, and you're present. That's what I ask of you. Now, this is my promise to you. I promise you that our communication will be thorough and it will be timely. If it's not, call me on it. And if you make a mistake, I promise you that I will forget it immediately if I even noticed it at all. I promise you. I am so busy changing my mind and making mistakes every day. I don't have time to focus on any mistake anybody else is making. It just simply doesn't matter. I am so happy to see you today. I see your faces. I saw Becky Balser. We're all happy to see Becky back with us. And okay, Chaz, let's hear from the principals.
Yes, ma'am. And for the principals, if you don't mind, if you have a question, go ahead and type it in the chat box and I'll read it out so everyone can hear it. We have about 45 minutes available to you to ask any question about any subject. Question about families without internet. How can we service these families? And I'll be glad to go ahead and state that our principals are working with the families. If anyone does not have internet, they need to identify that to the school. And we do have a plan to mitigate and make sure that internet is provided to the family. So there is a way forward if the family says they don't have internet. Just let your principal, your superintendent know. They're working with the IT here at the region office to get devices out to families. Steve Sanchez said if you're in Europe East, they have the names of those families that don't have internet. And if any more pop up, just let them know. Just so the principals know, we meet every single day with the DSOs and the superintendents. We get updates, we forward that to headquarters. And so as issues come about, we address them immediately and get responses back out. So I hope that information is flowing down to you at the building level there at the schools. If you have any questions, by all means, contact your superintendents and they will gladly assist you. Is there any word on how RAT will be handled? The only information that we have from headquarters is have the teachers submit their RAT requests as normal. We don't know in 60 days what will happen, but don't stop doing it. Go ahead and put in your RAT. If you self-procure, they're recommending that you go through the SATO offices. That way, there will be some guarantee should plans change and the tickets have to be canceled. There is no guarantee if you self-procure. So they're asking, go ahead and make your RAT plans and also procure your tickets through the CTO or SATO offices. Can you update us on the Leadership Summit in the summer? Yes, right now the hotel is closed, by the way, in Wiesbaden where we're going to hold it. And we have until the, I want to say the middle of April to cancel without penalty. So naturally we'll wait to the very last moment to see if we will move forward or not. It's strictly based on the conditions here in Europe and what's happening. Is there anything we can tell teachers about what type of lesson plans to provide for the weeks beyond spring break? Digital or traditional? I know the future is uncertain and it isn't possible to say for sure, but do you have any words for teachers on this? I'll let Dr. McMullen address that one.
They should go ahead and continue to provide digital. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Yes, that's a good question. They should continue to provide digital lessons beyond spring break. I'll go ahead and say here that we do not have a timeline on when our schools will be open. We do have some dates from 2 or 3 of the installations regarding when we would like to see our schools open. We all know that's preferable, but I just need to let you know that we don't have any timeline for reopening our schools. We're planning for it though, because we know we'll open again. It's just at this time we don't. So tell teachers that we should count on moving forward with this format for now.
All right, thank you, ma'am. There is a question about college students returning, and if anyone has a college student that's homeless because the college closed their doors and said you need to go home, you can contact Teresa Moore in our resource management. That's Teresa Moore, M-O-O-R-E, and she will assist in getting the student returned to Europe. So we've had a couple of cases, and she's the expert on that. She can help you with that. All right. Will there be catapult training in May? It's the next question.
Jorma, do you want to answer that, or do you want me to answer that?
Hello, everyone. Catapult training is scheduled as planned. That'll be a day for professional learning for the teachers. More information will be coming soon. About a week ago, the memo came out to explain a little bit. Yes, we are going to continue with that. And I know the districts are also working on other professional learning around digital learning as well. So that would be more the just in time. But this will also come to play with the, obviously the quarterlies as well, and thinking about how we can implement that in a digital world as well.
Okay, thank you, Jorma. A question about, is DoDEA working with Google on additional safety measures to ensure the platform isn't breached by unwanted participants? And the short answer is yes, they are working that at headquarters.
Chess, could I add a little bit
Yes.
to that? And I know I'm not the techiest person, but I want to give you a little bit about the big picture. The truth is, absolutely, DoDEA is working with Google, and Chris Dahl is working here with us, as well as the ET at headquarters. However, I want us to be really sure that we don't throw the baby away with the bathwater. We've got some platforms that have been working for us very well. We have had some unwanted participants, and the way we're going to handle it is like this. On a case-by-case basis, when we can identify those unwanted participants and we can link that to one of our students, we're going to take swift, sure action. We will not tolerate that. I recognize there are challenges associated with identification of those individuals, but the message I want to give to you is, number one, we're dealing with it. We're working to resolve it, but we're not going to just simply toss out a platform because we've had issues with it. Thanks, Chaz.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Are we enrolling through doors for the next school year, 2021? The answer is yes. As you know, the Office of the Registrar at headquarters rolled out a test version for doors re-registration on Monday and Tuesday, and they discovered that there was an issue during the testing phase, so they did not go live Wednesday. So it's currently shut down, but they are actively working and planning to have doors up for re-registration. So more to follow on that. Question about retirements and if teachers are delayed. They're concerned about their LQA, and we have already posed that questions to headquarters, and we will soon get information about retirements and entitlements and what happens specifically to teachers if they're delayed beyond their normal summer plans. So we have already identified that to headquarters, and we should have that answer shortly. Here's a comment on Dodea West leadership. ISS and SILS are there for us. We appreciate their communication and preparation measures that were put in place. Thank you so much for the Google Classroom. Our teachers have been so happy with this additional resource. It has been well received. The swift action Dodea took was very appreciative by the staff. And let's see, what about DPMAP? Any guidance, please, on DPMAP? And I know
Chaz.
Dr. McMullen has been working that hard along with Brad Dixon. Brad?
Yeah, Chaz, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Great. Yeah, so we're talking with headquarters right now about DPMAP. You know, obviously we're in a situation that we've never been in before. We're asking people, teachers, administrators to do things that they've never done before. So we do want to give that consideration as we look towards end of year appraisals. However, we also have to be mindful that we do have union counterparts. And as of right now, we're in the middle of bargaining for the impact and implementation of this working from home. You know, management obviously has the right to direct employees, especially in times of emergency, like we've just gone through. That is a management right, and we're doing everything that we're supposed to do. However, the union also has a right to bargain over the impact and implementation whenever we make changes to working conditions. And because this is happening across all regions in Dodea, headquarters is working with the unions at the national level. We've sent proposals, and we're currently in the middle of this process. So what I've been asked by headquarters to do is just to kind of sit tight until they figure everything out, and they can give us some clear guidance. But one thing to remember, we've already had almost 3 full semesters already. You know, in the classroom, we've been able to observe our employees, our teachers. So we have, you know, we have something to go by when we're looking towards appraisals right now. So and also I've gone through and I've looked at the performance elements for teachers. A lot of them are still you know, very much in play, even in this virtual environment. So there's still things that we can you know, we can consider as we get towards the end of the year. I know usually around the 1st of April is when LMER starts sending out emails regarding DPMAP. We're going to try to get information out to you as soon as possible. Again, we're absolutely we're looking at this. We're working on it. We're starting from the headquarters level and working our way down. So, but just know that we'll have more guidance out to you soon.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
Here's a question about the HP condition Charlie. Everyone's familiar with FPCON, Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta, where there's also a health protection condition, and they go Alpha Bravo Charlie and Delta. And right now, most of Europe is in Charlie. And the question was, when we go into Charlie where movement is limited, how will that affect us? And will it affect us more? And the answer is really no, it should not affect you greatly, because we've already taken many of the measures that are in Charlie, such as social distancing and limiting travel. So if you want more information, you can go to your Garrison or Air Base website, and they do have the FBCon chart listed there. And the districts also have a copy if you want to see what one looks like and what the different measures are. Are you going to see a DODEA policy for online learning and student conduct? Are there some models we can use when students misuse their rights? I do know that headquarters is working on the student conduct piece, but I'm not familiar with a policy for online learning. So that one I'll take and run up the flagpole, run it back up to headquarters to see. I would imagine from my experience at headquarters that yes, we will see something coming out on those two topics.
And Chaz, right now we have been working with the virtual school. They shared their approach and procedures with us. I believe it was yesterday. And we're looking at those for applicability in our schools.
Wonderful. Okay, and then a comment, just a comment. This is a struggle. Another comment, our ETs and nurses have been heroic. Would be nice to recognize them. Any chance there would be extra award money for teachers this year when so many are being asked to go above and beyond? Let's see if I've missed any. Would you care to elaborate for comment from the director or chief of staff? I think that's just a question.
You know, Tess, that came from Tessa, and Tessa, that is so true. In fact, your superintendents have been working tirelessly to support this effort, both teachers, principals, parents, and students. And you are exactly right. This is hard. It's new. We're having parents who are having to stay home and work with children, and they are not prepared for that. We've identified several issues that we're going to have to work on specifically, and you'll hear more from your superintendents, but since you have that comment, I think it's appropriate here to mention or to just talk about. Workload is an issue. We can't walk out of a classroom and walk into a virtual environment and have it look the same. That it's not sustainable. So if we just take what we're doing in the classroom and then try to apply that in the virtual environment, it doesn't work. We're seeing the workload where it's just too great. We have students who are sitting in front of computers all day. We've seen some classes in the South, because they've been in it longer, where the failure rate is abnormally high. So this is totally different, and it's putting stress on teachers, principals, parents, students, and we're going to see discipline issues bubble up. And this is all new to us, but it's very appropriate to say this is hard. It's a struggle. It's new to everybody. So thank you, Tessa, for that comment. I know it's what we're all feeling. That's why I want you to be kind to yourself first, and then talk with principals, teachers, and students. Really listen to them and figure out how we can mitigate some of that stress that everyone is experiencing.
Okay, next question. What about sending report cards and progress reports for elementary students? How will it be done?
Hey, Chaz, this is Jorma. You know, in the digital learning world that we're living in, and like somebody just mentioned, Dell did, is that some schools have been in, by spring break will be 6 weeks in the digital learning world. And so we just need to keep that in mind, but grades are expected to be the same. Inputting them into Aspen like you would normally for that. But, you know, keeping in mind that we have thrusted the kids into a world they're not used to. We went to 100% of in-school, 5 days a week with educators, learning there with supports they need. And then now we put them with their parents and the burden of that support mainly on them. But I know I hear great stories about many of you and your staffs are doing some amazing things to support our kiddos. But keeping that in mind, we want to give them a fair and just academic progress. And so what's amazing is in DODEA, we're maintaining the focus on education, which is 100% more than many of the school districts stateside who have already canceled school. And so whatever we give them from here on out is just an addition, a bonus, and it's going to help our kids be prepared for the future and beyond. So maintaining the way we have done it before is our stance here in Europe.
Great, thank you, Jorma. A reminder that Purple Up Day is April 15th. Please promote this on your social media to wear and share your Purple Up gear as students study from home. Contact PAO for more details. Let's see, I'm gonna go back up and see if I missed any. Hey,
Chaz, this is Brad.
Yes.
I just wanted to address the award money question real quick.
Sure.
Obviously the agency is budgeted with so much money. We don't typically have extra money out there. Headquarters will go through and see how much money the school has to spend at the end of the year for awards, and that's your budget. It's up to the principals to decide how you want to spend that money. If you want to give something to everyone, obviously you'll have less. You might have to give smaller increments. But it's really all based on how much money we have at the end of the year to spend, and it's based on budgets. I can tell you that the headquarters is not pulling a bunch of money back in reserve. They're trying to give you everything that they can so that you can award your folks appropriately. So, but we'll keep an eye on that. I'll be working with headquarters when it comes time to send out spreadsheets, and we'll take a look at budgets. Maybe you get more money than you did last year. It's hard to say until we get down to the end of the year and see how much money we have left over. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 2 more comments have come in. I shared with the Garmich teachers that we should err on the side of mercy when it comes to assigning grades in this changing situation. Another comment, we had parents call asking to withdraw their children to homeschool them because they had several children and they find it very difficult / overwhelming to try and manage it all at the same time. And that is a valid concern. We've heard that from a number of our families. All right, I'm scrolling to see if I've missed any. Regarding the technical aspects of report card, there is a work group at headquarters addressing report card delivery for Q3. And that's from Dr. Rahani. Thank you, Michelle. Comment from a principal that says, this certainly solidifies the homeschool partnership.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you for offering this arena for us to hear from you and get some global questions answered. It's nice to be in this together as Europe.
Hey, Chaz, I would like to share one comment that was emailed to Dr. McMullen about the foreign language exams.
Okay.
And just wanted to provide a little clarity on that for the 9th through 12th grade. At this point, there's still hope that school will resume in the near future, back face to face. So, and that would be one hope, right? In the meantime, the vendor is working on an alternative very much like advanced placement, where it's an option to administer the exam at home. And so the other day there was a Zoom meeting and principals were asked to go there. The hope is that we will resume school, and then in May, we'd be able to administer the test at school. But there will be an option by the vendor that will allow this to be done at home. And so they're working through those technicalities now. More information will be coming soon.
Great, thank you for the update, Jerma. Will there be any guidance on student attendance in the digital learning environment?
You know, I'm happy to tackle this one, and this is a tough one. We're in session. We expect our students to be, to do their work, to continue learning, to turn in their assignments. But I think that we will make a mistake if we get too wrought up over how students are getting their learning accomplished or their assignments accomplished, or when the teacher's not present. Now, if the teacher has a schedule set up, we expect our students to follow it. But it's really important. I like to think about what Scarlet Lake with the virtual school says. Evidence of attendance is making sure that they are turning in their assignments and that they're participating. I'm so glad Joe Malloy asked that. That's a huge question, and wow, is it a shift. It is a huge paradigm shift. But let's be careful not to get wrought up on whether a student is working on his or her learning every day. Our expectation is that if he has a scheduled time with his teacher, he's there. Our expectation is that they work throughout the week. But that would be a huge mistake as far as I'm concerned. Just think about their learning and they're getting their work done and their progress. Joe, does that, everybody, does that make sense for you? Anybody that has another comment on that? I see some comments and I think we've covered those, and those are good ones. We take a lesson from the virtual school. You know, something that we learned from the virtual school about 2 or 3 weeks ago that has stuck with me probably like nothing else. The virtual school allows a student to take only 4 courses virtually, and that is a maximum. We are having students take 7 courses. And if we are trying to replicate the classroom virtually, it will not work. It won't work for the teacher. It won't work for the student. So I plead with you to listen to students and to parents. This is hard for teachers. Superintendents are working hard on this. We're trying to make some real change. We're asking teachers to begin digital learning in 3 days when the virtual school knows that it takes teachers 3 years to become an accomplished, confident virtual school teacher. So encourage your teachers. Essential learnings, prioritize, add some fun things they can do with their parents. We've got to move away from trying to replicate the classroom. It is absolutely critical.
Here's a comment: providing them open Google Meets, for example, during seminars so students have access to their seminar teacher as a check-in and support in completing online assignments.
Absolutely.
Can we talk about the technical requirements for AP and what concessions will be made to be allowed for our students to accomplish this?
Hey, Chaz, Steve put a link shortly just under there, or a message about more information is coming April 3rd from College Board. So we have limited information. We do know it's going to be a lockdown browser So I imagine we'll have to install things at the school level, some sort. And so that might be a concern for Dodia laptops or Chrome laptops that we're loaning out to students. So we'll figure out a solution for that for our high schoolers when it comes, and we'll make sure we get all that information out. Just a heads up, we are working collaboratively with Virtual School and Tammy Elder at the SIL to come up with some just basically quick cheat sheets, one-pagers around AP and the resources as we prepare for those 45-minute exams coming up here in May. So we'll be getting that out to you soon, that for all principals and teachers.
Great, thank you very much. We also just have a comment. We also have teachers working around resource limitations with their own kids at home. Could you please type the name of the person that will help teachers get college students home? I sure will. I'll do that right now. Teresa Moore, she's in the global. She's our RM chief here at the region office. And please know you don't have to wait for a town hall meeting. If you have a question, you can send it on up and we'll address it same day.
Be sure and send us your questions as they bubble up. Also, will you please send ideas for how we can make this better? And please don't be shy. I really want to hear from you because this is the first time I've ever done one of these that is anywhere near this large. So we know we can do it better. So please just let us know how. Let's close with this. I am so proud of you. The work is absolutely incredible. Just like teachers are tackling things they've never tackled before, so are you. We've got to figure out how to help teachers realize in many situations, less is more. They have to prioritize. And what makes this so tough is some of our very, very best teachers are going to have to rethink how they deliver instruction. And that makes it very hard. But that's all I have, Chaz. I'm so happy to see you. It just made me so happy to see your faces and hear and see your questions come up. I was really sad about a week ago when I was telling Chaz how sad I was to miss the opportunity to come to your schools in the spring and see you and the teachers and what you were doing. And Chaz said, well, why don't you have a town hall? So this was his idea, and I jumped at it. I love the idea, but we want to make sure it works for you. So let us know, and please take care and have a great weekend. Bye.
And keep those questions coming. We will answer them. Thank you all very much. Have a good day.